Alright, let's go see what the computer has for... What? Who's that? Probably nothing. Time to see what is on the review for this week and... what? Whatever manner of beast or spook you are, reveal yourself! Am I getting more paranoid these days, or what? Time to see what's on the computer. Okay, computer, tell me what we are going to be reviewing today. Ooh, no. No! 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 Maintenance is still doing that thing! Hello? Who is there? No! Let's just go see what's in the reserve pile. Okay, there must be something in here. Let's see here. No! 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 This is impossible! What is going on? Who is messing with me? Stop making that weird noise! Oh, wait. I know what to do! Oh, great and mighty being, responsible for this strange phenomenon. Knock it off! No! What do I do? Wait. I have it! The maybe pile! Yes! 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 Balto! We're gonna watch Balto! Yeah, we're watching Balto. Cue the music.
We'll be lost by time or be part.
In the night, the winds.
Greetings, the world of the internet. I am the great Matthew Squeak, and welcome to Squirrel Talk Review. Balto is one of those... No, it is too late, whatever manner of abomination you are. I'm already watching something else. Where was I? Balto is one of those movies from my childhood that, for one reason or another, I just couldn't get enough of. And when I encountered the movie on Netflix the other day, I was of course filled with great nostalgia. But then I began to remember that amongst my peers, I was the only one that shared this enthusiasm for this movie. So it's brought forth the question, is Balto as good as I remember? Was it just overshadowed by movies with more fart noises, or was I just a dumb little pup? So I thought, why keep this road of discovery to myself and share it with the masses? So let's take a look at Based on the True Story of Balto. The movie starts in the early morning hour in the other-dimensional Twilight's bedroom. Yet, okay, who's doing this? It's not funny anymore. You mess with my opening. You mess with my title card. I've already said we're watching Balto, and that's just what we're going to do. Now sit down, shut up, or get lost. And quit with the noise already. You're interrupting the audio. So the Balto movie actually starts in New York Central Park, and it's also live action. Yep, this isn't any kind of hallucination or manipulation. This is how the movie starts. And we get to know some granny and a whiny little girl.
It was here, someplace.
But we've already been past here.
Well, these two wander around doing nothing for a good solid 2 minutes before Granny starts staring off into space and the actual movie starts. And we get introduced to the villain of the movie, 'cause the movie about delivering medicine to sick kids needed a villain. And we eventually meet the hero of the story, Balto, and his nanny/chew toy. He nags until you do what he wants, and he also doesn't mind teeth. He's the perfect companion for any dog, wolf thingy.
You are putting me down now, Mr. Golden Retriever?
and we start partaking in a bucket load of random slapstick at the goose's expense. It's really not that funny at all, and it's making it look like Goose's sole purpose to exist is to be abused in one way or another. But don't worry, we do get a little exposition of the character's heart and goals.
Whatever you say, Boris.
Every time is a race. You run around like you're in
Maybe
it.
one day I will be.
And that was it. That was all we needed to know. This is Balto. He wants to do that. The exposition over. Now we can focus on what's really important. Side characters.
Real Musher's hat!
Oh, great. We just ditched one whiny little girl to get replaced by an animated one. It's really just a long, drawn-out excuse to introduce the love interest of the movie. Because a movie about delivering medicine to sick kids also needed a love interest. So not only do we meet Jenna, but worthless characters number 1 and 2. They're annoying. They bring nothing to the movie, and only ever talk about one thing.
Do you think, Steel will notice?
I'm afraid the only way Steele notices anyone is if they're wearing a mirror.
So finally, some action starts. Yeah, I said some action starts. After watching Balto zone out of how much he wants to bang this dog, an opportunity arises to show off, and off he goes to play hero, much to the dismay of the spectators.
It's that straight dog! The race!
By doing what exactly? Balto gets the hat, but not the dog. Well, it could be any number of reasons. A stray with unknown diseases, don't know how tame he could be.
Honey, he's part wolf.
Nope, it's because he's not a pure dog. Well, the race is over with. Let's get to know the antagonists a little bit more. Steel and Kiss Ass 1 through 3. Okay, now these 3 used to crack me up when I was younger. Let's have a look, shall we?
The most amazing, the most exalted, the most preeminent, the most top drawer.
You what?
Yeah, their comic routine is a little stale, shall we say.
I don't know. You think maybe Steele's losing his edge?
Yeah, looks like just about any dog could outrun him.
Oh yes, who's ever heard of a lone dog not pulling a big heavy sleigh being faster than one who is? The whole notion is just preposterous. So as Steele's frustrated that Balto absurdly bested him in the sled race and managed to win favorite points with Jenna, he does the thing that any movie character does in this situation: take it out on the main character, with the 3 minions tagging along.
Good wordplay there, boss. You are the wittiest, the quickest. Yeah. You are the drollest, the cleverest, the sharpest. You are the most hilarious.
You crack me up!
Were these 3 gimmicks so repetitive? And dare I say, gets old and annoying rather quickly? So with Balto ridiculed and pushed away by people and dogs alike, you might wonder, why doesn't he just follow his mother's side and join a random wolf pack? Oh hey, a wolf pack! Well, I guess that cleared up that confusion. Now the only thing left is to attend to Balto's depression, and the goose has just the cure. And it's more random, not funny slapstick. That seems to be all this movie does. Okay, I get it that the goose is trying to cheer him up and all, but it's just that. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. How does he expect to cheer up Balto if he can't even entertain us? What's next, a random musical number?
Hey! Hey! Hey!
There are no stings on me.
This is the single greatest moment in this movie. No, the single greatest moment in any movie. This, right here. Balto saving the kids? Screw it. Balto battling ice storms? Screw it. All you need is a goose that can dance. So with Balto all cheered up, let's get to know the goose's side of the story.
Homesick, Boris? You ever think about going back?
Don't fret, Fido. I'm sticking here until I'm sure you can stand on own 4 feet.
And that was it. The amazing detailed backstories of these characters is just superb. And we find out we're not quite done introducing characters in this movie, as we meet a pair of polar bears, both voiced by Phil Collins of all people. The smaller one's not so bad, but the bigger of the two sounds like this. You know, it just has that certain flair, the way it can slowly bore into the deepest recesses of your mind, slowly driving you into insanity. Why does the bear sound like this? Who okayed this? So we've heard the goose's story, and we've heard Balto's story. So now you're probably expecting to hear the tragic backstory of these two.
Oh, the shame of the polar bear who fears the water. No wonder we are shunned by our fellow bear. Woe is us.
That's it. They can't swim. That's the only character trait they have in this movie, aside from, you know, being annoying. Where did these two come from? The goose was surprised to see them, so where have they been? How did any of these characters come to be living under Boris's boat of peculiar animals? Well, don't fret. They have even less of a role in the movie than these two. So let's move on to something more important to the plot. The whiny little girl from earlier is sick. And so is every other kid in town, it seems. And it's at this very moment that Mr. Timing himself decides to try and ask out the girl of his dreams on a little doggy date.
Look, just a shot in the dark, but I was wondering if,
But after seeing her sick owner, Balto devises a scheme to get lucky. I mean, he's trying to comfort her with a chance to get for the children! It's all for the children! So Balto enacts his schemes to get Jenna to, plan to help find out what's wrong, and starts putting on the moves, complete with atmosphere and mood. But right before Balto can jump into the PG-13 territory, the plot comes in, interrupting the whole thing. Now, finally, we have some historical accuracy to this movie. Aside from Balto was real. The town of Nome, Alaska is plagued by diphtheria, and the only way to save it from being wiped off the map is to get medicine delivered. But what keeps this story from being a small footnote in the local history books is of all the timing, a severe blizzard stretches across the area. The sea is too treacherous to navigate, and the planes are grounded, so the only way left is to send it by train. But unfortunately, the train doesn't quite reach Nome yet. So the only way to get the medicine across its last leg of the journey is by sled dog. And, oh dear, this scene. I may never have noticed this when I was younger, but now that I'm older watching this, I realize just how pointless this entire scene is. Let me start off by stating what they're trying to do and why they think it's a good idea. The city is having a sled dog race to determine which dogs are the fastest in order to safely deliver the medicine in the fastest amount of time. Sounds reasonable, right? Well, however, 1. The kids are dying. Do we really have this much spare time on our hands to put on this silly little dog race? They organized a crowd. They set up a course. They even took the time to put up a finish line, for crying out loud. Number 2. This movie started with a dog race. Yesterday, you know, after that weird prelude thing. I scarcely even remember that happening at this point. Am I right, Everfree? See, even Everfree doesn't even remember at this point. We already know who the fastest sled dog team is. And spoilers, it's this team. Number 3, there's no rule to how many dogs can be on a sled team. But if we're trying to be technical, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And how many dogs in this race? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow. So this whole race is to figure out which 3 dogs aren't going. This whole shindig to see which 3 dogs don't make the cut. It's wasting precious time, and it's incredibly redundant. So the only reason it exists, aside from padding out the movie, is to give Balto a shot at joining the team. But of course, that doesn't happen because...
We can't trust this one. He's part wolf.
See those teeth?
He might turn on me.
Hail, purebreds! No. We just had one commercial break. We don't need another one. Especially about something that's never going to happen. So the movie finally resumes, with some recycled footage stamped in. And Steel and his nameless human successfully fetch the medicine. But on his return trip, run headlong into that blizzard I mentioned earlier, becoming hopelessly lost. Meaning it's time for the hero of the story to, well, finally do something in the story.
Balto, please! Don't go crazy on me now! This is foolishness!
Oh wait, he needs his nanny's permission before he can go out and save the town.
So, let's go get the medicine.
Well, that was easy. So now Balto, Goose, and these two annoying fluff balls that are in this movie for some reason are going out on a quest to save the day, marking a trail as they go.
He's marking our trail.
And we watch them march through one snow field after another, where we finally encounter...
Oh, what a profound statement with a dash of humor. That is simply the best line in this movie. How did you get in here? Who let you in? You. You let them in here, didn't you? Who are you talking to? Everfree, over there. Oh, is that going to be your next review? Get off my stage!
So what they actually encounter that's relevant to the plot...
Trust me, if you could speak moose, it was the best line in the movie.
Get out of here!
Now what?
Gosh, you look hungry. May I recommend the trout?
Don't gaze too deeply into those eyes, or you may find yourself... So Balto has to battle a demon in order to save his worthless sidekicks and nanny. But that doesn't go over too well until, of all things, Jenna shows up. How exactly did she track them out here? Into the middle of nowhere? Guess she just followed the sounds of a trumpet being stuffed full of socks. Balto lures the unholy spawn onto the ice and discovers its weakness is water. Funny, because most bears are excellent swimmers, unlike these two that are also excellent swimmers.
Cannot swim!
What? Polar bears who can't swim?
Yeah, remember that was such a big, important part in the movie that these two couldn't swim. And now that these bears have finally overcome their fear of water, the only trait left they have is they're annoying.
I hate bears!
But not everyone made it unscathed from the demon bear attack. Literally right after she got here, the only female character with any remote personality in this is injured and has to get towed back home by the side characters. And by that, it results in the movie actually getting better. Now that it's ditched the worthless comic relief, it kicks it up a few notches. Even if just slightly. It really should have spent more time building up Balto's character instead of all the meaningless slapstick before. Since we haven't really learned anything about Balto, it's difficult to care where he is or what he's doing. So long story short, Balto successfully locates the lost team.
Is that
Balto, how did you find us?
Is anyone hurt?
Everyone is fine.
Yeah, but our musher hit his head. And he didn't get up.
And he's not moving.
Well, he's dead. Welcome to my world. Now, go home.
But his rescue attempt is foiled by Steel. Because, remember, this movie needed a villain. Steel, I guess, wants to stay here and slowly freeze to death. I don't know, he still wants to be the hero of the movie or something, but he isn't moving. Well, naturally, with this difference of opinion, they get into a little tussle, with Balto playing the pacifist route, but eventually turns Steel's own aggression against him by sending him over a cliff. Now that Balto is in charge, the dogs reattach themselves to the sled and tie their not-as-dead-as-he-appeared musher on as well, all without any form of opposable thumbs, and hit the trail. But Steel's not out of the game yet, as he takes that classic villain style of, "If I can't have it, then nobody can!" So he sneaks ahead and sabotages Balto's carefully constructed trail, thus leaving Balto just as lost as Steel was. But, here's the thing. Exactly how or why did this work? Firstly, how would this work? Steel would have needed to have outrun the sled to get ahead of them, which we already know a lone dog outrunning a big heavy sled is preposterous, or he would have needed to have taken a shortcut. But it's been addressed that he's lost all sense of direction. How exactly did he get this far ahead to do this much damage to Balto's trail? Do you know how many circles he made to make this many false trails? And secondly, why did this work? Balto tracked Steel into the middle of nowhere in the middle of a blinding blizzard, but he can't track his way back home? If anything, why doesn't he follow Steel home? He suddenly seems to know where he's going, and he makes it home in no time at all. And thanks to Steel's meddling, Balto and Medicine go tumbling over a cliff themselves. But it's okay, because this happens. Okay, whatever that was. Now embracing his wolfish side, he climbs that mountain and reattaches the medicine again, without thumbs. And they're on their way. And remember how I said that this movie picks up a few notches? Well, now it finally to the point of what the movie should have been about from the beginning. Balto leading a brave batch of sled dogs through treacherous terrains in hope they will reach the town in time. Emotion speaks louder by cutting back on the dialogue, and it actually gets kind of exciting. It feels so much different from the first part of the movie that just threw slapstick after slapstick at us. We've got ice bridges, caves, dodging stalagmites as they fall from the sky. It's some fairly exciting stuff. It's a shame it took this long for the movie to finally get this exciting. It just feels so much different from the first part of the movie. There's not much more I can say about this part. It's good. So when this part of the movie comes around, go ahead and sit back and enjoy the ride. But we're gonna have to skip ahead, because back in the town of Nome, all hope seems lost when what should be heard over the horizon...
Balto. Balto's back!
The town is saved. Steel gets his just deserves. A slammed door in his face. Balto is declared a hero. People don't question how Balto came to be pulling the sled, and even let polar bears into the town. Nothing washes away prejudice like saving an entire town. But the most important thing of all, Balto got the girl. That was his main motivation to do anything in this movie, you selfish, one-dimensional nuthole. And that was Balto, and it's not over. Yeah, it's just like in the beginning. There's a live-action epilogue thingy with no other purpose than to show off the Balto statue, which, doesn't quite look like the guy. Is there anything else? Okay, that was Balto, and so not as good as I remember it being, I'm afraid. But maybe it's the nostalgia talking, but I still don't see this as a bad movie. The main character may be one-dimensional and has plenty of annoying side characters and useless characters, but it did have some funny moments, and even a few epic ones as well. As for the story, it felt like we were just wasting buckets of time until something important happened, and finally see Balto doing what he actually did. A shame, really, because the true story of Balto was pretty interesting. You'll know what? How about a brief history lesson right here? Take it away, the professor of boringly worthless facts.
I'm still not sure if this won't internally What? I'm sorry, I wasn't aware I was doing a lecture today. I'm still working on that machine you wanted for the Everfree review.
What?
Don't you remember this morning you sent me detailed schematics for your new control seat? I took the liberty of adding cup holders to your design.
I did? I did? Did I? What are you planning? We just did a Balto review, and now people will be expecting a brief history lesson. I don't have time to research and memorize it myself. Just outsource it to another YouTuber. Find some loudmouth human on the internet or something.
Hey, Mr. Squeak, how's my favorite rodent doing?
If only I was not so desperate. What do you know about Balto?
As much as the next guy.
So, if you please, I require a brief rundown of the true history of Balto.
Okay. Just like in the movie, there was a dysphoria outbreak, and the only way to get the serum in time was to ship it by sled dog teams. Now, unlike the movie, it's too long of a journey to make with one team. There was not one sled dog team, but over 20 of them, passing off the medicine to each other in a giant relay race over time. And one of those teams, the team second to the end, was led by none other than a half-wolf dog named Balto. They challenged the snow drifts and river overflows in a blinding snowstorm, so thick you couldn't see your own hand in front of your face. But they still made it to the next checkpoint in time, only to find the next guy was asleep. Dogs not hooked up, nowhere ready to go. So they go for round 2 in that freezing weather, and making it to Nome just in time, thus earning Balto his historic status.
Thank you, loudmouth human of the internet. You really came through for me.
No problem. And by the way, when are you gonna ever do that Legends of Everfree review?
My apologies. It seems our communication was unexpectedly terminated. But as you can see, the true story of Balto was pretty interesting. And you'll know what? I never would have gotten really into the true history of this pooch if it hadn't been for this movie. So even though it has numerous flaws, if a movie can get you interested in learning about true events, then it's all right in my book. I am the great Matthew Squeak, and this is Squirrel Talk Review. Cut. Ugh. Okay, now I just need to find something for next week. Are we still rolling? You know what? I'm over it. Everyone knows I'm never going to review that. You're a tired, repetitive joke. And it's time for you to be retired, so you can go. Please exit stage left. Please? So it is the silent treatment, is it? I can play that game too. Look, I won't even look at you. No. Ah! No, ganging up on me, are you? It won't work. I will not be intimidated. Stay back. Get away from me. Security. Security. Get away. No. 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 Get away. Get away. No. No. Ah! Oh. Oh, what a nightmare. But it's over. It's over. It's over. I don't have to reveal the legend of Everfree after all. Ah. It's over. I don't have to review that.